So I decided while I was working out here that I should do a little bit of a spring tour. Things are shaping up, but there's still lots of work yet to be done. It's my grape arbor and my apple tree, and this is the fern area, but right now it's full of little spring plants. This soon will be my peony area, but right now it's Primrose Lane. Again, this is another area that needs some cleaning up, but I just thought I'd show you these lovely primrose. Get my shadow out of the way. They come up every year, and I love them. I love all the variety, the colors. It's just like an Easter egg hunt. Down the corner from that, the peonies are doing really well here. These are rather new variety. Lots of grass in here, unfortunately. Can't get rid of it. I keep it down a little bit. Tulips coming. A little more primrose. I did plant 3 in here, but that's the only one that survived this year. Mums will be coming up there. Across the way, you can see some spring plants coming up here. We've got hyacinth coming up. Again, this is a garden that needs some work. These are hostas that border this garden, and they've been here, I want to say 10 years. Yes, total sunlight. So anybody that tells you hostas need shade, this particular type of hosta doesn't. Got corbels peeking through here. My iris will be coming up. So lots of activity in this garden. Those who have been following me will recognize this is my double lacy maple. One is green, the other is red, and I just love this combination. And it's just now starting to bud out, so it's pretty exciting. More color over here. You can probably see the difference between the red and the green. I have done some intertwining. I think these bushes have been here about 15 years now. And they have a sizable trunk growth, but you can see the difference between hopefully you can see that, the green and the red. The red is the smaller one, and the green is the bigger one. And people thought I was crazy when I planted them together, but I just love this two-tone look. It's my herb garden. Got sage showing up, and there will be lots of activity, lots of comfrey and different thyme and marjoram. And you see my chives. They're one of the first to be harvested. In the back I have elephant garlic. So again, you know, you're probably in the same situation where lots of work that needs to be done in the spring. This is another peony bed. This are pink old-fashioned ones, but I think this year what I'm going to try and do is I'm testing to see if I have enough soil depth, but I want to plant gladiolas along this wall and perhaps this fence area, because the peonies are done when the gladiolas want to show up. And then over here We have our lilies that will be coming up shortly. The variegated willow is greening up and looking lovely. This thing grows like a weed. I have to trim it about 3 or 4 times a year. Hello, robin. Lilacs are coming. And then another garden that needs a lot of work, but it's early yet. This is my veggie garden. And I plant lots of different things in here. Got tomatoes and cucumbers starting. I need to work on this area because I want to put some cardboard down and get rid of the weeds. They seem to have a real infestation of creeping Charlie in there. Not a fan. This is the straw bales that I grew the zucchini on last year, and they will be put down over the cardboard, and then I will be putting compost on that and planting. And this bed is still not open yet for springtime. I have onions that are perpetual. We're getting closer to the road now, so it's going to be a little difficult to hear. This bed is getting ready for more. I think we started these 2 years ago. And you can see how this one hasn't been built up yet this year, and it really needs it. Lots more soil has to be put in here. Well, our old cherry tree is budding up, showing signs of life there. This is the most amazing tree. We can call it a miracle tree because it was here when we moved in, and it was small enough that we could put a netting over it. And then look at this trunk. So all that growth is coming from one little portion of an offshoot because the original tree is dead. So that's why I call it a miracle tree, because it still wants to keep on growing and budding and giving us beautiful cherries. This is the other side of our driveway, and this is the heron my son Michael carved out of a wild cherry tree that was dead. And we have some heuchera and iris poking through here. This is pretty much in the shade. So, for a few years, we didn't have water to this area, had hand water, and it's quite a distance from the house. And it was a challenge to keep the plants alive, but I'm looking forward to this. Last summer, we had another line put in all the way down to where we're storing our boat. Yeah, expensive. There's our white pine tree. Absolutely glorious. This is a Chinese red blood maple, and it's looking wonderful this spring. This is 25 years old, I know that because we planted it on the first birthday of my first granddaughter, Jessica. So we call that Jessica's tree. And it's gorgeous in its prime in the summer, nestled into the green of the pines. It just is glorious. This is a huge lilac and probably needs some work, but that's for younger people, I think. So we'll head around the white pine here and show you why we had a water problem. Our neighbor decided to plant 10 tulip trees. It's also a reason why I have limited sunshine on my garden. Well, it's lots of sun right now because they're not leafed out. But soon the tulips will be budding up. Well, actually, they're budding up right now. I don't know if you can see that. There we go. But the roots of these trees have gone underground all the way over, and they practically reach the crabapple and apple tree there, and they have suffered considerably from that. And the new line will probably last us maybe 4 years because the roots are so vigorous, and they people who installed the water line told me that they will be crushed by the roots of this enormous tree. They are really, really tall. I'm guessing 45, maybe 50 feet tall. And this is an old tree that was here when we moved in. It's a wild cherry tree. And when my grandchildren rather, were younger, there was a limb, you can see that poking out there, that got cut off, and we used to swing them on that limb. And little by little, it's been chewed away. In the distance, you can see the another pine. This one I'm not sure of. Maybe a cedar, I'm not sure. I'm not that good of a botanist to know. So here's a closer look at this. I'm not sure, maybe a spruce, blue spruce. I wish I knew more about my plants, but my herbs I know. My plants not so much, but it is beautiful. We've done our best to clear away and keep it alive. So I think we'll end here. This beautiful spruce or pine. Let me know what you think. Hope you're having a great day in the garden.